Hello everyone, this is Naresh IAS Academy digital platform for the IAS mains exam. Now I am working on General Studies question paper 1 for IAS mains exam, and I have completed General Studies question paper 2 or discuss the entire paper through the 20 videos, and you may take help from these videos from the YouTube channel, and remaining part I have discussed in detail, and you may get detailing part of the second paper from our website, the Naresh IAS Academy. You may also be a part of our offline classes or answer writing session. This is the next topic on General Studies question paper 1. Today's our topic is the cultural renaissance. Important topic. And I will try to explain the topic under the three heads. One is the phase 1 during the 6th century BC. Second phase 14th to 17th century, or the third phase 19th to 20th century. Okay, topic is too much large, have the so many dimensions, but I will try to explain a specific approach to cover the various aspects. One is the cultural renaissance in the ancient phase during the 6th century BC. This is the age of time of Gautam Buddha and Mahavir Swami, and we have to cover this part in two ways. One is theoretical part of Gautam Buddha and Mahavir Swami, what they preached. Buddha preached in Pali language, Mahavir Swami in Magdi and Ardh Magdi, the Prakrit language. So you have to literally learn this part. Gautam Buddha's first sermon, the first speech at Sarnath, which is called Turning of the Wheel Path, and through which Gautam Buddha revealed its entire philosophy. First of all, Gautam Buddha preached the philosophy of Four Noble Truths, and then he derived the central principles of Buddhism. From the second noble truth, Buddha derived the Pratitya Samutpad doctrine, or doctrine of dependent origin, and from the third noble truth, Gautam Buddha established the doctrine of salvation, the Nirvana concept, or from the fourth noble truth, Gautam Buddha derived eightfold path theory, Astangik Marg, and through which Gautam Buddha synthesized the three gems theory, including the three systematic phase of the theory. And same Mahavir Swami preached his philosophy, and who stated first the doctrine of Anekantvad, plural realistic theory, and who explained the nature of creation through the pluralism and realistic theory. And you have to understand in detail what do you mean by the Anekantvad and how much extent it was successful in the contemporary circumstances. And then Mahavir Swami derived the theory of relativity, literally Syadvad theory, and then further he derived the Saptabhangi Naya theory, doctrine of the seven Naya. And as the Gautam Buddha stated the three gem theory, Mahavir Swami also presented the three Ratna or the three gems theory, including the three parts: the right conduct, right knowledge and the right philosophy. So this is a theoretical part you have to literally learn. But the second important part is the practical aspect of this, and now you have to cover this in the two ways. What kind of questions Buddha and Mahabir raised that time before the established religious philosophies or the social stigma. You know, that time this was the supremacy of Brahmanical religion, and Brahmanical priests established their supremacy in both religious or social sphere, and it was resulted into different kinds of social evils, discrimination among the peoples, and peoples were exploiting in the different ways, and sometime it was called, there was a dark age before the people. They were not realizing how to overcome these circumstances or how could they get welfare or upliftment of their life. So Gautam Buddha or Mahabir Swami presented the two important challenges. One was before the established religion or theology, or we can say orthodoxy of the Brahmans. In this platform, both the Buddha and Mahabir Swami explained the simplest form of the dharma or religion, and without taking help of God or Ishwar, they explained the true nature or the real nature of religion, and which does not require any kinds of rituals, religious rituals or the Brahmanical priesthood, and there was no necessary the expansionist lifestyle to maintain these religious rituals. And this was the first time both the challenge or criticize the Brahmanical supremacy and how much extent they could succeed. So we can say simply for a some extent. However, during the 6th century BC, most of peoples or a majority of the peoples followed the Buddha and Mahabir Swami, and it was turned into a movement, religious movement during the 6th century BC. But after the Buddha and Mahabir Swami, again it was written at the same line, and the influence on Buddha and Mahabir Swami fade away over the time. So it had only the limited extent. Simply they did not remove all kinds of defects of the Brahmanical religions established by the Brahmans. Second aspect, you have to understand what kind of challenges or question raised by the Buddha and Mahabir Swami before the society. Again, the Brahmans created different kinds of laws, regulation for the society, and this was the caste or varna based society, and this led to the discrimination among the peoples. Women were exploited, women were given the secondary treatments, and Shudra class and the untouchable peoples have the least scope for their life, and there were different kinds of social evils and the negative approach towards the women. So the Buddha and Mahabir Swami first preached the social harmony and the social equality to all. They embrace all the backward peoples belong to the Shudra class and the women, and they provided the same theory, same place to all, which was not available in the Brahmans. But after the Buddha and Mahabir Swami, what happened? Same. When they were alive, definitely it was converted into a revolution or movement, and peoples followed them, and these tradition established as the Buddhism and Jainism and separated from the Hinduism, because their earlier roots are found in the Hinduism. But over the time, the society again started caste-based discrimination. Women were given again the secondary treatment. They lost their position, which was given by Buddha and Mahavir Swami, and Brahmins again established their supremacy, and they lead different kinds of social evils against the women or the other section of society. So we can trace the limited successful of Buddha and Mahavir Swami. However, in the 6th century BC, this was a daring effort to criticize or to stand themselves before the Brahmins. So definitely we must praise them. So we have to try to understand this age in this way. And this is the 14th to 17th century. We can trace this age as the Bhakti and the Sufi movement. 14th and the 17th century can be identified as the age of Bhakti movement and the Sufi movement. Bhakti and Sufi. Sufi movement originates within the Islam as well as Bhakti within the Hinduism, and both criticize the existence nature of Hinduism and the Islam, because there were mediators between the peoples and the religions. In Hinduism, these were the priests and the leaders of the religious sect, or in Islam, these were the Maulvis. So now we have to understand the mainly three aspects of Bhakti and Sufi movement. First, what was the nature of Bhakti and Sufi movement? There were so many Bhakti saint or Sufi saint, and they were divided into the different classes according to their ideology and what they preached that time in the different languages, and this was further written or compiled in some specific text, and these texts are called the Bhakti literature or the Sufi literature. So we can understand the nature of Bhakti or Sufi movement through the Bhakti literature. So this is synonym to the nature of Bhakti literature and the Bhakti movement, right? The nature can be defined in two ways: nature in the religious sector or nature in the social sphere. In the religious sector, all the Bhakti saints divided into the two categories. Some of them were called the Nirgun Bhakti saint, while others were called the Sagun Bhakti saint. Nirgun Bhakti saint mainly include the Kabir Das, Guru Nanak and Dadu Dayal, and they describe the nature of God or Ishwar as the formless, without any specific quality or features. Nirgun means not the absence of quality, it means excess level of quality. Human mind is not able to describe the nature of God. God is beyond the human capacity, and that's why we must accept him as a Nirgun, the formless, because this is difference between the capacity of God and human beings. That's why they are saying here the term Nirgun. While the other end there were the Sagun Bhakti saint like the Mirabai and Tulsidas, Surdas, Balvacharya, Vittalnath, and saint in Maharashtra, the Namdev, Eknath, Gyaneshwar, or in Assam, Shankardev, and they invested specific quality or form in the God, the ontological quality, Tattvik Gun, like God is the omniscient, omnipresent and omnipotent, and some the ethical qualities or the legal qualities in God. He loves his He loves all the human beings, and God loves his creation, and God sometimes have compassion and sympathy to their jeev or their creations. Then this is the difference, and this is the nature of bhakti literature. And the second nature we can trace in the social sphere. In society, Nirgun or Sagun Bhakti saint again divided. Some of the saint described it was simply a reformist nature. They want to some reforms in the existing structure of society. They were agree with the caste or varna based society without any kinds of discrimination, and they want a respectful place for women within the existing structure. While the second category of saints said, we want the resurrection or innovative society in which women's or peoples of the backward classes must lead the society than the Brahmins. They also lead the religions. They must be the top Brahmins, and they should be the top level of the saints, and the religious interpretation must be in the hand of the women. So you can trace this nature in the social sphere. Next is how much extent Bhakti and Sufi saint succeed to influence the society and for the resolving the problems of the human society. So we can say simply Bhakti or Sufi saint explain the real nature of religion, and they said God is one, the single identity with the different names, and it lead to the social or religious tolerance between the Hindu and Islam, because Islam have its supremacy, God is Allah Khuda, and Hindus have their own supremacy, God is exists in the form of Lord Narayan, Vishnu, Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva. So there was least scope for the interaction, but through the Bhakti or Sufi saint, they accepted this. God is one with the different names. So that's why we should not try to debate or dispute to each other. This was the preached by both of them. Second, they explained we must truly love to the God, and for this there is no requirements of any kinds of superstition and ceremonies and the expensive rituals. Earlier they were required. And third, they preach even poor peoples, Sudras and women are eligible to attain or to obtain knowledge about the God, and women can obtain the salvation, nirvana and kaivalyas or moksha. So this was a revolutionary idea preached by Bhakti and Sufi saint, and they criticize different kinds of discrimination on the grounds of caste, varna or class. But when we talk about in what ways and how much extent they could succeed in the contemporary circumstances, definitely we can say their success was very limited, because they did not produce or provide a best alternate for the social custom, social practice, and they simply explained the actual nature of religion and God and the social aspects, but they did not provide the alternate for the women and the lower categories of peoples, and simply it was admitted that they had to exist or survive in the existing structure with the knowing the actual nature of religion and society. So this was not possible to change overall the society. Over the times, the radical peoples of the society or the orthodox peoples fade away the ideas of the bhakti or the Sufi saint, and again society started to run at the same path which was running before the bhakti or Sufi saint. So their success can be traced in a limited way. Okay, and next is, what is the contribution of bhakti or Sufi saint in the cultural sphere? Both the saints preached in the vernacular or local language, and those language spoken by the small peoples of any community. So these regional vernacular language now started to grow, and they well established and which are still prevailing. This is a good contribution. Second, due to the bhakti or Sufi saint, different kinds of musical instruments were invented. Musical instruments were invented. And next is the folk culture, in which the local or regional dancing styles were started, local or regional singing styles, the performing art. And due to the bhakti or Sufi movement, in the Indian culture, now we have the folk culture, including the folk music, folk dancing style, different kinds of the folklores. So we can trace their contribution at a large scale. Okay, in the 19th or 20th century, again we can define the cultural renaissance in the different way. In this phase, we can discuss about some organization like the Brahm Samaj of Rajaram Mohan Roy, and this was the Young Bengal movement of Henry Bibian Deragio, and the Ramakrishna Mission of Swami Vivekanand, and Theosophical Society of Annie Besant. Literally, you have studied lot of about them, but for the point of view of mains exam, you have to compare their ideology, and you have to trace how much extent they able to shrinking the society, shaking the society, not shrinking. And Brahm Samaj based upon the Vedantic philosophy, so its social base was broader than the Arya Samaj. The principles of Brahm Samaj were liked by not only the Hindus but the other religious communities. But how much extent Brahm Samaj was succeed? Brahm Samaj played important role for removing a defect in social evils, sati practice. Due to the Brahm Samaj or contribution of Rajaram Mohan Roy, British government, this was the William Bentinck, banned the sati practice through the 1829 Act, Sati Practice Prevention Act, and also they established the actual nature of God or Brahm again after the bhakti or Sufi saint, and they tried to peoples come together at a single platform to discuss their problems without the help of any Maulvis or Brahmins or any religious leaders, because they were creating differentiation among the peoples, and this was criticized by the Ram Mohan Roy. So we can trace the contribution of Ram Mohan Roy as a social reformer. He criticized the different social evils, mainly role played for removing the sati practice, and women's education he targeted, and the religious sectors who established the oneness, unity of God and their livings. And he also contributed in the educational sector. He encouraged the women for education. He established the Central Hindu College of Calcutta with the help of some Europeans, and the Vedant College again in Calcutta, and this was the important contribution of Brahm Samaj, through which they tried to understand and to spread the actual knowledge of the Hindu religion or about the Hindus. So when we discuss the Brahm Samaj or Young Bengal movement, so definitely they have some similarities. They did not supported the Sagun concept of God. They did not supported the idol worship, idolatry, murti puja, temples. They criticized all kinds of social evils and the rituals. Simply they provided a rational concept, scientific approach to the peoples, and through the scientific approach or rationality, how can we admit any practice or behavior in our life, and how much extent we can remove these. In detailing I will explain about them in videos. These videos you may obtain from our website. Okay, thank you.